Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to Celebs Source, your source for celeb news. Now today we have... today we got another banger, man. Now we still on break from the celeb news, and you know that hurts, man. And look, I'm dying to come back, but we gonna substitute that for today with some real nightmare fuel. Look, movies are one thing, right? But when the horror is down the street, well, damn it, that brings a whole new element to the game, man. You're like, yo, not down the street from my crib, right? Yeah. Right down the street from your crib, man. You see what I'm saying? That is, if you live in the Jacksonville area of, well, you know, never mind all that, man. I don't want to scare you too much. Yo, check this out, man. We talking about Yungeen, Ace, and Julio, Foolio. Now, some of y'all like, I'm not familiar. Well, you about to be familiar, man. Yo, check this out. I had to do research on these cats, man. And, bruh, I had to make for myself like an elaborate picture of an intricate web of absolute insanity, man, that I had to create just to understand the hell is going on down there, man. Now, after I give you the deets on this joint, if you was planning to go to Jacksonville, you may want to hold off on that, man. Real talk. Apologies if you live in the area, man, but I got to look out for the viewers. Now, we gonna start this nightmare off with a triple shooting. You like, bruh, you ain't gonna slide us into this, man? Nah, fam. This joint starts in the deep end. Matter of fact, all right, we'll start you off at 5'10" deep. You see what I'm saying? We're going to set this one off with an arrest warrant for Yungeen, Ace, and his mans, DeAndre Thomas, who attempted a robbery on a couple that was selling weed, man. Now, back in 2016, that's right, if you're a weed seller, you at risk for the bullish. Look, I'm just trying to keep it a buck, man. Somebody's got to tell you these things. Now, bullets came through the door of a couple missing a 1-year-old by inches. The baby was in a high chair and a bullet hit the headrest, man. That joint right there is divine intervention from demonic activity. You follow what I'm saying? You like, yo, you're not coming from this direction, are you? Man, hell yeah, we coming from this direction. Yo, this stuff is satanic, man. You think it's happening in some obscure country? No, it's in the hood, bruh. You think demons don't like Florida? Man, have you been to Florida? It's beautiful. Anyway, Yungeen Ace did a couple of months in jail for that robbery. Now, 6 months later, a dude by the name of Zion Brown, who happens to be Foolio's cousin, I believe, was the only adult in the house, mind you, with about 5 other children. That's right, children are involved in this joint. Zion, who's 18 years old, is in a crib with 2 other girls and 3 small children ages 6, 9, and 17. Well, I mean, 17 ain't small, but you know what I'm saying, man. Now, around 1:30 in the morning, a brick comes crashing through the sliding glass door in the back of the house, right? One of the girls calls 911, but before the one time could get on the scene, the gunman walks through the kitchen into the living room where everybody's gathered. The gunman lets the cannon do its thing. Now, based on the scene, right, the police say this appears to be the work of multiple people. So I'm assuming bullet holes were everywhere. The 2 girls got hit and Zion Brown is hit as well. Now, this is significant because it sets off a chain reaction that leads all the way to a couple of weeks ago, man. We dropping this joint on April 26, 2021. Now, like I said, Zion Brown is hit, 2 girls are hit, and a 9-year-old. I told you these dudes are different, man. It was stated that as Zion lay dying, he reveals that the shooter is someone by the name of DeAndre Thomas. This is the same Thomas that was with Ace for a robbery I just told you about. Allegedly, right? Now, this dude got a bit of a record. Drug possession in February 2017, drug possession in 2016, 6 accounts of burglary in 2015. I mean, they kept letting this dude out. He kept doing the thing. 6 counts of burglary in which a gun was pilfered. Now, look, if you want to practice this way of life, right? You hate your loved ones, man. You got to, man. Everyone around you, you must hate them. Because you know this stuff spins off into bodies of friends, families, loved ones. This is all satanic, man. If that's what you like and that's what you want to do, have at it, fam. There's a furnace with your name written all over it. My bad. Six counts of burglary. Yeah, say what up. 6 counts of burglary in which a gun was pilfered, right? You like pilfered? Yeah, stolen, man. All right? Trying to expand the vocabulary over here. Now, one of the victims of the shooting said, quote, "When he came in here, he saw my little cousins were just kids. He had no remorse for us. He was just shooting. He shot until there was no more bullets in his gun. And then he walked out." Close quote. Walked out. Not ran, walked out. One of the victims, a teenager, said she tried to hide behind a couch, but was shot in both her legs. Her 9-year-old cousin was shot in her neck and her right arm. She survived. Her brother, Zion Brown, was fatally shot. Now, she stated, quote, he was laying against the wall, but his body was out. He couldn't fit into the hiding spot, close quote. The teen said he died when he got to the hospital. One of the cousins that was not injured and hid under a bed stated the shooter fired all his rounds and walked out the back door as police were pulling up. The boy said that before he hid, he spotted a second person in the kitchen. They said, quote, I saw a brown man with a black jacket on and some jeans. I saw the other man who was black too. He had on a red jacket and some jeans too, close quote. Now, police interviewed others trying to identify the shooter, who we now know to be DeAndre Thomas. Now, one of the victims said she's worried that the shooting was in retaliation for an alleged assault that took place earlier that year. So basically, right, someone upped the ante. What morals have we learned so far? We learned that today's fight could be tomorrow's shooting, man. You think you just gonna hit him in the face and walk off, man? But depending on the level of pride and ego, somebody might be like, yo, I'm gonna up the ante. You see what I'm saying? Yo, for a long time, right, I used to run around talking about, yo, I'm so afraid of people getting revenge, I gotta make it so that they can't get revenge, right? The demon that probably told me that didn't just stop at my house, man. I'm almost positive he went down the street. You see what I'm saying? Today's fight is tomorrow's shooting, man. And heaven help you if you win the fight. Now you got to be concerned about the other person trying to make you feel the pain that he felt, even if that includes often your family members. Now, since January of that year, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office investigated 2 homicides. And of course, you know they wound up investigating a whole lot more homicides after that. 4 robberies, 22 burglaries, 25 assaults within a half mile of the triple shooting, man. Imagine if there was no cops, man. You see, this is the catch-22 that we're in, man. Folks need cops, because apparently these shooters are a bit indiscriminate with it, right? I mean, a 9-year-old got hit. You see what I'm saying? Well, and we don't need the sheriff's office, man. You know how messed up that is? That we gotta prefer to have racist cops in the neighborhood than these youths doing this? And the dude that killed Trayvon Martin, let me not even go there. Look, remember that robbery I told you about in the beginning of this whole story? Anyway, the significance of that robbery was that the one time retrieved the shell casings from that robbery and matched them up on some CSI-ish with the casings at the crime scenes in Jacksonville. And you know who was at the robbery. So now we have Zion Brown dead, multiple family members wounded, 2 suspects. You following what I'm saying here, man? You like, yo, if you stop digressing, I will. Yo, look, I'm gonna try to do my best, but you know how it is around here, man. Fast forward a bit, right? The scene is a diner of sorts. It's a celebration, a birthday celebration party. Yungeen Ace, Ken Bullitt, is celebrating a birthday party with his brother and his boys coming from a mall. They hop into the whip because they're trying to link up with some shorties, right? They were being followed. See, this is where I think a spirit will tell you, hey, yo, let's go hit this lick, man. Let's get this money by any means necessary. And whatever you do, don't look over there. Then it goes and tells your ops, yo, you wouldn't believe what just went down over there. You see what I'm saying? Pointing at the dude the whole time. Look, they leave the mall, right? They're being followed. Ace, his brother, and his boys stop at a red light. There go the cannons once again. Nothing but thunder. Ace gets hit in the hand, drops his phone, blacks out a bit, but is still able to hear his brothers yelling. He shields who he calls his little brother, who's in the driver's seat, because Ace is in the passenger seat, opens the door to the driver's side, and tries to let his brother out because his brother couldn't move. He got hit. The shots are coming in through the passenger side. He leans over, opens the driver's side door to let his brother out who was hit, pushes his brother out the whip and tries to get out that same side. All the while, hot metal is still coming through the whip. Yo, would you believe I'm nowhere near done with this, man? He gets out the driver's side, but at that point, the car starts to move because the joint ain't in park. He thinks he's shot in the leg when in fact he caught 6 to the rear. 4 people were shot. 1 ambulance arrives. 3 of them do not survive the ordeal. Ace is the only survivor. Ace is one of the oldest people in the car, if not the oldest. Ace gets hit with 8 bullets. So from that point on, he blames himself for the loss of his brother and his boys. Yo, take a listen.
I feel like it's my fault. I always feel like that. I'm gonna forever feel like that. Everybody say don't feel like that, but you don't know how that feel. Like, it's like everybody on your watch, like they right here.
You see that, man? He ain't even kill his boys, and he still feels guilty. There's no peace in his soul at this point, man. It is tormented by the events that took place. And you can only imagine the things he hears in his head, man. He doesn't speak to a counselor about this stuff, but he needs to talk about it to somebody, right? In fact, he says it is through his music that he could discuss these things because for him, it is therapeutic, right? Swing the camera over to Foolio's side. Now, Charles Jones, professionally known as Foolio, has fingers pointing in his direction for what went down with Ace and his brothers, with folks thinking that it was in retaliation for what went down with his cousin, Zion Brown. But he maintains that it wasn't him, and he has denied all involvement, which is kind of effed up, right? Because either he did it and he's lying, or he did not do it and he's just being targeted. Unfortunately, he later releases a video mocking the artist's dead loved ones. See, this is a horrible practice right here. Tupac made a joke back in the day, right? If it could be called a joke, when he told his partners that when he dies, they were to smoke his ashes and get super high off of that joint, right? But approximately 20 years later, artists have twisted Pac's joke / request and used it as a means to disrespect their rivals' dead loved ones. Look, I cannot see how curses are not attached to behaviors like this, man. You ever meet people that, like, some of their actions make you want to get far away from them, man? Especially during thunderstorms. Look, I'm almost positive people that disrespect other people's deceased loved ones bring a cloud of negative energy over them and their crew, and sometimes even their own loved ones, man, become the unwitting targets of the bullish, man. I told you before, man. King Von said, I rob a ninja and do it again. I come through your block and to kill 2 of your friends. Think about what that does, man. These artists, when they lose loved ones, right, oftentimes they feel responsible for the loss of their loved ones. And whether they are or not, it negatively impacts their psyche, man. They walk around carrying that, sometimes even hating a portion of themselves for what happened to their peoples, man. Yo, did I mention that Jacksonville has at least, that means the lowest number possible, at least 30 gangs in operation, with Jacksonville even coming up with a task force to address the gang violence in the city. I bet the residents love the police over there. Now, Foolio is a part of a group called KTA, which stands for Kill Them All. And Yungeen Ace is a part of a gang called ATK, which is believed to stand for Aim to Kill, or Ace's Top Killers. Can you imagine standing behind these cats on Judgment Day line, man? I heard a dude from Black Panther like, are you done? You see what I'm saying? Now, Foolio dropped out of high school in the 9th grade, and your boy is no stranger to gun violence. In fact, he was even shot in the leg getting off of the school bus. That's how much of a problem it is out there, man. In 2019, Willie Addison, better known as Boss Goon, he's part of I believe the Ace's Top Killer side, right, was murdered. And what made that crazy was that he just finished performing at a gentleman's club, hops into the ride with his brothers, cousins, and pops, when someone came by and riddled the whip with bullets. One of the victims recalls the account. Yo, take a listen.
Just performed at the club.
Guess 2 or 3 cars pulled up on the side of us, shot inside our car over 100 times, killed my son in the front seat, shot my son in the back, in the head 3 times, shot my nephew several times. A couple more passengers in there were shot several times, numerous of times. And I drove all the way from there to Memorial Hospital, shot in the back myself twice.
This happened.
And on cue, right, an artist by the name of Lil Buck from the Attack Them All side, right, mocked the dead Boss Goon. Are you starting to notice a pattern here, man? Around that time, I want to say June, Julio was shot at with a bullet grazing his head, but he survives. Here's what's crazy, man. They even shot at his lady, and she survived. I mean, I couldn't even make this stuff up if I tried. Months later, that artist, Lil Buck, that, you know, the one that mocked Lil Buck, that mocked Boss Goon, guess what happened to Lil Buck? Just guess. That's right, the nightmare continues. He was murdered in a shopping plaza, and I understand that to have been in broad daylight. Now, the shooters fled the scene, hopping through people's backyard, making me think of what Wendy Williams said about housing prices, breaking into someone's house and holding her hostage while changing into different clothes using her husband's clothes. Can you imagine, man? I mean, Right now, I'm wearing a shirt that says Black Excellence on it. What if they took my Black Excellence shirt, man? You see what I'm saying? In the midst of all this. They call a getaway driver, which happened to be the man you just saw being interviewed talking about what happened to his relatives in the car. A couple of minutes ago, you just saw that guy. He was the getaway driver. Meaning both the father and the son, by the name of K-So, got arrested in connection with the murder of Lil Buck. Now, someone by the name of Dominique Barner was also arrested for Lil Buck's murder, and he sang, talking about the act was made in retaliation for a diss song made by Lil Buck. You see, history is constantly repeating itself. We've seen all of this in Chicago. The demon in Chicago just went down to Florida. Like, yo, man, you ain't gonna believe what I just did up there, right? And the demon in Florida is like, yo, man, I was just talking to the Florida man. Yeah, the governor. What you got, fam? You see what I'm saying? Now, the one time already had their eye on K-So because his album cover made it real hot, man. It was an image of him with the faces of murder victims in the form of smoke, helping him one time in connection with Barner's testimony to connect those deaths with K-So and ATK. Now, you would think these guys have like a shield of protection around them because Ace, right? Yungeen Ace recently dropped a track called Who I Smoke. And Ace proceeds to mention the names of dead homies of Foolios in a super catchy song, right? Over the 1,000-mile sample. But here's the thing. When they do that, right, and people sing the song with them, that can't be good, man. We've seen so many instances of rappers doing this. Then the other person wants to retaliate, and the cycle of violence continues. And when artists don't die themselves, it's the people that are around them that die, man. You would think that would make them stop, right? That if you disrespect someone's dead loved ones, it almost guarantees that people will come hunting for you and your loved ones, man. The 9-year-old was shot. The other artist from Chicago who had his daughter in a drive-thru, she became a victim after he pissed on someone else's grave. Your most precious loved ones, right, could die off of these social media shots. And check this out, man. Foolio lost one of his partners, right? Rod K. And after he was killed, he posted an unusual message which said, quote, "It ain't getting to me because nothing can get to me." That's what the streets owe us, the world. I'm going to keep going. I'm really disappointed, but I'm going to keep focused. Close quote, bruh. Here's what I noticed, man. A lot of these artists go cold when people close to them die, meaning you have no idea what kind of savage will be unleashed by an act that you think very little of today. These people are aiming for anybody in the house that moves. That don't make you want to chill out, man. These guys are doing videos at cemeteries, man. Here's what I noticed. In the scriptures, right? Demons seem to love being around cemeteries. It makes complete sense to me though, man. You see what I'm saying? Look, we just giving you the history. And although it sounds like entertainment, there are real people grieving over the loss of their children, dissing the dead to anger your ops. Do you know what you're pulling towards yourself? It's like a frog's tongue latching onto a grenade, man. You see what I'm saying? And how much worse when you make the song catchy and people are now singing about other people's dead loved ones. Look, if you make music like that and then die, the results of your actions continue to play out through time and eternity, man, until Judgment Day. It ain't just what you did while you were alive, man, but the ripple effect even after your death. And if the Most High is a righteous judge, there will be a reward for that, man. For those actions. Guaranteed. You like, damn. I'm like, yeah, tell me about it. And yo, let us know what you think, man. What is a way that we can stop all of the violence that's taking place, man, around all of these artists? I mean, we ain't trying to glorify none of this. In fact, we are saying that all of this is dead wrong, man, and there will be a reward for this kind of behavior. If you got no peace right now, you know you ain't gonna have no peace if you pass, man. You see what I'm saying? Hey, yo, let us know what you think, man. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. Yo, thanks for tuning in to Celebs Source, your source for celeb news.